All right, there's definitely one thing that has transformed my trading, if you will, for the better. And I don't know if any of you guys are expecting me to say this, but it's really the documentation of your sessions. And when I say documentation, I'm talking about recording your screens. I record my face. I don't think that's completely necessary, but recording your screens definitely. Making sure that your pre-market plans are documented with the dates, and also taking screenshots of setups that you take or think could be setting up, and going over those screenshots and basically highlighting, circling, putting notes on them based off what you're seeing. And you can do that after the session's over with, but making sure that you screenshot whenever you are getting that impulse to put an entry on, or whenever you think something's setting up. Documentation as a whole has definitely led to a lot of improvement in my trading. If I didn't document all of my sessions, if I didn't record my screens, if I didn't have my pre-market plans saved, I really think that I would be a lot further behind than I already am from being a profitable trader. And it really just makes, first of all, it feels good to look back on all of your sessions and seeing everything that you've documented, and just knowing that if you ever need to look back and say you see something one day that you remember seeing another day, and just you learn so much more by documenting your trades. And then on top of that, whenever you do replays, I think a lot of traders, one, I know a lot of people don't document everything like I just mentioned. And I think a lot of people actually don't do replays as well. A lot of people are just kind of like lazy with this shit, to be honest with you. Like, they think that they're just going to wake up and the screen time, putting in the screen time every day is enough. It probably will get you there over a longer period of time, but putting in that extra work of just like going back and replaying the data you've seen, maybe it's the same day, maybe it's at the end of the week, you go replay the whole week. And you don't have to do the whole session in time. You can speed the session up by 2 or 3 times, watch it like that. There's many ways you can do it, but the people who don't do that, I think they're just on a much slower learning curve than everybody else. Like someone like me who literally has every pre-market plan for the last 3 months in my notes, and screenshots of things that I see set up on Bookmap or just on the charts, screenshots with notes, pre-market plans, and then on top of that, I have my actual sessions recorded with my executions recorded as well. So the reason why I say that's so beneficial is because, now I'm not saying I am the best trader ever, but I will say that I've been able to identify my biggest mistakes, and I've been able to identify when I'm prone to making those mistakes. So it's like, I know my biggest mistakes, and I wouldn't know my biggest mistakes if I didn't document my trades. So you can see your executions and whenever those happen, but being able to go back and starting from the beginning where it comes from, like understand the plan for the day, understand what the conditions were like that day, rewatch the whole session, try to put myself in the same mindset that I was when I made a mistake, and then realize why that mistake was made, and then I can correct it for the future. But yeah, so when I'm talking about documentation, obviously this applies to like scalping more than anything else, because obviously if you're swing trading, you're not going to document, you're not going to record your screen for a trade that lasts a few days. Like, obviously that makes no sense. So yeah, documenting my experience trading fully, and then going back and basically adding up the costs of my mistakes at the end of the week, at the end of the month. And whenever I do that, I can basically categorize all of my errors into a few different subcategories, and then I can identify what my biggest problems are based out of those, and then I can correct them and hopefully not make the same mistake over and over. And without documenting your experience, that is going to be a lot harder to do. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I think this really comes down to being like extremely particular and professional when it comes to actually wanting to correct your errors and succeed in trading. I think that a lot of people kind of like half-ass the whole thing, and they think they can just walk into the market and basically just start making money right away and not make a lot of errors. But you'll quickly find that it's a lot of times some of these errors in the beginning I've found are like almost inevitable. You're gonna see things that, how can I say this? Yeah, there's just gonna be mistakes that you're gonna have to make on your own, and you're gonna have to learn the hard way. Some you might be able to learn from somebody else, but I just think that whenever you make a mistake, you're gonna feel that pain, and you're gonna have to go through that, and that pain is gonna be what corrects you from making that mistake again. And I'm not saying that you can't use someone else's experiences. That's obviously what I'm trying to help you guys do, is to fast track your success based off of my experiences. I think that human nature plays a large role in trading, and some things you cannot just automatically avoid without going through it yourself, if that makes sense. Something like revenge trading, whenever maybe you do take a good entry and it loses, and then now all of a sudden you want to make that money back that you just lost. I feel like even though you've heard probably a million times that now you're revenge trading, and that's a bad thing to do. But in the moment, you're not going to think that. You're going to be too obsessed with the idea of basically making the money back that you just lost. That's just one example. But yeah, my point is documentation of your sessions and your thoughts, really documentation of everything, screenshots. That's going to allow you to correct your mistakes so much quicker than if you were not documenting things. So that's really all I got to say. I know personally it's helped me a ton, and just being able to understand that all of my bad trades come from a few mistakes that are all the same. It really it allows you to have a lot more confidence in your setups that are supposed to be taken because they are appropriate. So that's one thing I have for you guys. I think that a lot of you will find that yourselves to be true. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.